What up, Gringo Gang, man? Hey, welcome to another video, man. It's your boy Emerald Amigo, and I got yet another video topic for you. Now, I be scrolling through my feeds and, watching some things that interest me, and this one right here, it sparked my mind a little bit, and I wanted to see what you guys thought about it, get your opinions on it too. This young man right here, he goes by his channel is called The Saint. Pretty cool dude, and he keep it real. That's why I like his channel. He keep it real on everything he speaks about. He doesn't hold anything back. You know what I mean? He's real blunt, and he has some interesting things to say about our beloved Mr. Tupac Shakur. In this video, he explores whether or not Tupac was really as revolutionary as we give him credit for. And I thought that was quite interesting to speak on that because not only is Tupac passed away, but he's held to such a high standard that you gotta have some cojones. You gotta have some big jewels to come out and criticize Tupac on almost anything he did because he's so beloved in our community. And Jada Pinkett might come after you for this. You don't know. We just don't know. But he had some things to say, and I thought they were interesting. So let's play it, and I'm gonna speak on it, and I want y'all to let me know if y'all agree with him or if you don't, man. Let's see what's going on.
By crack and drugs and alcohol, and that's why I always caution against it. But Tupac definitely came from a mother, Afeni Shakur, who had a consciousness, and the Black Panther Party for self-defense definitely dabbled in a little bit of Maoism and communism as well. And so those ideas we can hear bleeding into Tupac's music, particularly the ideas about egalitarianism.
All right. So, communism and Maoism, or whatever you say, I don't know too much of the rules and what they stand for and those ideals that he just brought up, but that's a fact that it is true. Definitely, Tupac's mom was involved in with the Black Panthers, and Tupac had a lot of influence from that, which played a part in some of his political and social stances that he displayed in his music. So he's definitely right. We on the right track.
However, these are often the ideas of the poor and of the foolish. Egalitarianism, we're all equal. They say stupid things. I heard Tupac say, and I'm a fan of Tupac's, mind you. I heard him say one idiotic thing, which is why we should.
All right. So he's about to he about to get to the nitty gritty. So he said Tupac kind of gave the sentiment of egalitarianism, if I'm pronouncing that right. Pretty much pushing the idea that we're all equal, which in a sense we are. That's what we all been fighting for. Everybody, every walk of life, and every shade, every color, every religion, we've all been pushing for the fact that we're all equal. But like he said, it is a little bit foolish because we kind of live in a merit-based society where you earn your keep and you have to work for your name. So we made it to where we're not quite as equal as God made us to be. But let's continue and see what he has to say and see why he says that mindset that Tupac was pushing was kind of idiotic. Let's see.
Listen to poets or rappers, but he said, I go around, I see.
Now, hold on. I ain't gonna let you just say don't be listening to the poets and rappers. Our poems and our raps, they come from the inspiration that this world has given us. I ain't gonna let you just play on us like that. But once again, you know what I mean? Depends on how you listen, and yeah, you probably shouldn't listen to us when it comes to making financial decisions and how you're gonna deal with your family and deal with your love life and stuff like that. But you ain't gonna discredit all of us artists and poets and rappers and stuff. I ain't gonna let you do that, my boy. Nah, but let's see what you gotta say, man.
all of these mansions, like what I want to know is like, if you got these mansions, why can't we let more homeless people live in them? You got all those rooms, you ain't living in all those rooms. Or I see abandoned houses and they abandoned, but you can't let no homeless people live in them. This is completely idiotic thinking. Just
All right, all right. So Tupac did say that. If he said, we got all these homeless people and all these mansions with all these rooms, and you act like you can't let homeless people live in these extra rooms you got, or in all these abandoned houses you have, and things like that. Um, yeah, don't nobody want no random homeless people living in a mansion, even if they got all these surpluses of rooms and space and abandoned houses. You know, they could live there, but someone still needs to make those houses livable. So yeah, that could have been a little stretch or reach. Um, when it comes to my stance on it, one of my biggest things that I hope to make a change in is homelessness. That's one of the biggest causes that I want to have an effect on before my time is up. And in my opinion, I wouldn't say that we need to put people in other people's homes or um, just give away abandoned houses and things to people. But I will say that there is a lot of uninhabited land um, between each city that you see when you're driving down the expressway. You see all these acres and acres of land, and I believe that there's something that we can work out. There's a way that we can house more people if we really wanted to. Um, People are now making homes out of trailers and tiny houses, and um, I see people online, they're building little bunkers and houses out of mud and gravel and wood and all this stuff like that. So I think if we put our minds and our energies together, there's no excuse for anyone to be homeless. We could at least, set up campsites, tent sites on the outskirts of the cities or anything, you know what I mean, to make sure everyone is housed, has some type of roof over their head, you know what I mean? So it's possible. I understand the sentiment that Tupac was coming from, but if he did deliver it in that particular way, yeah, that wasn't the exact way to get the message across. I can agree with that, but that's kind of the same things that Kanye does. He tries to deliver good messages, but they don't always come out in the most sensical ways. You know what I mean?
utterly, utterly stupid thinking. Which is why probably rappers should just rap and not try to, do too much. Because the fact of the matter is that
Once again, you gonna stop sending all these shots at the rappers, man. I'm just talking shit, man.
capitalism does make sense at a level, right? If you said, okay, these abandoned houses, I'm going to let poor people or homeless people live in them at no cost, then there'd be no incentive to work, you fool. And it would.
He's right. He's right. I've witnessed that, when you give a certain amount of constant assistance to the less fortunate, and like government assistance, or if you were to make um, home homeless camps and places, shelters and things like that that people can go to if they follow certain rules or whatnot. People tend to grow dependent on these assistances, and they don't. They honestly don't try to get better more often than not. Most times they are content with the assistance they're getting because it's free of charge and they don't have to put in any effort to get it. So they continue to just do whatever they have to do to maintain that assistance and enjoy their life around those restrictions. You know what I mean? So he's absolutely right. And we do need people to work and contribute to society, to keep the society growing, and to keep us developing as a people. So I definitely agree with that. Um, I also say that when it when it comes to people needing assistance and they are being given the helping hand as well, rather than going out and working to earn all of the resources that they have. It is kind of a slap in the face to the people who do work hard every day to earn what they have. And also, we have our society has been set up in a way that resources have become more limited, to where in order to get those resources, it does make more sense for it to be earned, for it to be worked for you to have made certain accomplishments to deserve the limited resources that we have to divide amongst however many millions of us that there are. So when all of these handouts are given to people who don't want to work for it, it's taken out of the pot of the people who are working to earn these resources, therefore causing a little bit more disdain and um, more resentment towards them from the everyday working class people. So he does have a point.
Really destroy much of the society. There'd be a number of persons who keep working because they're productive and they want to, achieve things. But average people, middle class people, which is the majority, they probably stop working as hard. The society would begin to slowly crumble. So these are idiotic ideas that you'd hear from Tupac, but he wasn't terribly ideological. He also was getting into trouble himself. He was, using drugs and alcohol himself, and so there's a clear limit to what he could achieve. And he was not.
That's true. That's true. Tupac definitely, had his very public stints with trouble and his very rebellious moods and activities that he engaged in under the theme of thug life. So we can't argue with that. That's true as well.
Very revolutionary. He was more so interested in being famous and experiencing his own individual freedom. I think as far as musicians go, rap musicians, I think he's probably of the more revolutionary. No,
He is definitely one of the more revolutionary artists that we've seen in hip hop culture, bar none, without a doubt. It's no debate. You know what I mean? We can't take that from Tupac. For sure, like he said, Tupac did engage in his own foolishness and things like that, which I understand. But this is one of the things that I don't particularly like about when people judge other people, because no human being is going to just be one way for their entire life, no matter what cause they're fighting for or what ideals they stand on. We all have, different mood swings and different stages and chapters in our lives, to where one day you're up, one day you're down, one day you feel good, one day you feel bad, one day you're rich, you're poor, one day you're young, one day you're old. We're constantly adapting and constantly changing. So I don't believe that it makes sense to put humans in one box, one category, when life causes all of us to constantly adapt and constantly change and constantly alter on a daily basis. Even if we make a stance that it's our intentions to be a certain way or to think a certain way, we still have to give room for human error, which I don't think a lot of critics really understand and pay enough attention to, because the same way that the people that you hold on a pedestal and you say, hey, they didn't live up to that, you as a person, there's something in your life that you wanted to represent that you didn't live up to as well, and that's just human nature. So that's one thing that I don't understand about the way people criticize others, is if they expect every human to be programmed and robotic and only operate one way for the entirety of their lives. I just don't think that's possible.
No doubt. But in terms of revolutionaries, he's maybe of the least revolutionary and has very limited revolutionary capacity.
So he says that Tupac is probably one of the least revolutionary in a sense of his capacity to get things done. I'll say that he's correct on that. With all the legal trouble and the violence and the certain music and certain aspects of his lifestyle that he participated in, it would disqualify him from being viewed in the Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King type of way. He discredited himself from being viewed in that respect when it comes to being a revolutionary. But at the same time, as an artist, as an entertainer, I will say that Tupac used his platform more than most entertainers for revolutionary causes and to push the world forward, rather than only going after money and fame and a good time like most artists and entertainers do. So I wouldn't take all of Tupac's revolutionary credibility away from him, but I will say that he in particular was in a space to where he was a mix. He lived the best of both worlds, you know what I mean? And while most people try to say that makes your efforts invalid because you're not sticking to one cause and you're veering off, getting distracted from the cause, that would make it invalid and, you know, make you incredible in a negative way, make you incredible. I would just say that it's the thought that counts and it's the effort that counts. And for the effort he put in, he did way more than most other people try to do. But shout out to the Saint and his opinion on the topic. He did make some very valid points, and once again, like I said, I follow him and I check out his videos because he's facts over feelings. He keeps it 100% real and, you know, his opinion of things. And I just want to get you guys' opinion on it. Do you agree more with him and think that maybe we hold Tupac to too high of a regard that he probably didn't deserve? Or do you think that, like myself, all of Tupac's antics and the ignorance that he displayed just came with the territory, and at least he made an attempt to change the world for the better? What do you guys think? Y'all let me know. It's your boy Emerald Amigo, Gringo Gang. I appreciate you once again for checking out another video, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm gonna see what y'all talking about in the comments, man. Yes, sir, ski.